Hi, Gene Pimentel here, and welcome to Local Domain Empire. I'd like to show you how to take $3 domain registrations and turn them into hundreds and thousands of dollars cash each. Now, Local Domain Empire is not just a course, but a complete system that will allow you to efficiently locate and register domain names for $2 or $3 each, sometimes 99 cents each, and install beautiful web properties on them. Now, this takes only 90 seconds to do, and businesses fall in love with these web properties. You'll see a demonstration of that below. Then I'll teach you how to find the best prospects for these web properties and how to sell them quickly and efficiently, and to do this on a consistent basis. So come on in. I hope to see you on the inside. Let's make some money together. Welcome to Local Domain Empire. My name is Gene Pimentel, and I've been a professional domainer for over 10 years. And the reason I mention that is because I want you to be aware that this is a course that it wasn't just whipped up overnight. It's based on my real-world experience and based on sound principles of business that have been used by many domainers for many years. Domaining is a subject I'm really deeply passionate about. I just love doing it, and I find it a very creative business that allows anyone to take, you can take many different routes depending on your skill sets and abilities. It doesn't matter where you live, what language you speak. Domain flipping is a pretty universal business. Now, Local Domain Empire is all about local domains, but that doesn't mean you have to do this just from your area. The world is your playing field. The point is to help businesses compete with similar businesses in their immediate local area. Local domain names are a very hot commodity right now and will be for years to come as businesses recognize the need to compete online. Most of my experience is in selling domains in the raw, meaning just the domain name itself with no other attributes. I felt there had to be a much easier way to sell domains without real selling, so it would open the field to many other people who wanted to enter the domaining business, but were not interested in hard sales. Local Domain Empire was born as a result. The niche-specific websites that we use in this system have two main purposes. One, to be extremely appealing to brick-and-mortar businesses. And two, to be extremely quick and effortless for you to set up. Those are two very important points. We're in the business of selling domains, not websites, but the website that we have in this system is so quick and easy to set up that it really doesn't take much effort at all, but it helps quite a bit to sell the domain name. In a mere 90 seconds, depending on your internet connection speed, you can have a gorgeous, fully functional website installed. The proprietary dashboard built into each website makes it incredibly easy to customize the site by simply filling in a few simple fields and clicking a few options. I've heard it many times by people who have been extensively testing these sites. It's absolutely brilliant. It's just so easy to use. These web properties typically sell in a neighborhood of $500 to $1,000 or rent for around $125 a month, and we'll get into how that works later on. But it's a stupidly simple business that can be operated in your leisure. The more domains and sites you put up, the more potential offers there will be as they're discovered by businesses searching for their keywords online. But the nice thing is you can do it at your leisure. You can upload a site today, do a couple more tomorrow, and as you're waiting for offers, the sites are just gaining value because search engines are picking them up and they're getting closer to the front page of Google automatically. The sites are all optimized for search engines. Now, I want you to understand something. I've sold thousands of domain names, and almost all of them had no traffic, no search volume, no website, no other external attributes. In fact, most of them would have been appraised at nothing more than the registration fee, but they sell for good money, simply because I'm able to research and locate the potential buyers that want or need them. The beauty with Local Domain Empire is you're establishing web properties of real value. They will increase in value with age, as most of them will climb in the search engine rankings automatically in many cases. Just put as many out there as you can, and you'll catch the eye of potential buyers without even emailing. However, that's a passive way to do it. You can take the proactive way and contact potential buyers, and we'll cover that in the course. Now, you may be wondering, why would businesses want or need another website? Well, it's simple. Many businesses have one main website and they don't know what else to do. The smart business owners continuously buy new web properties to use as lead funnels. For example, Dell Computers, Dell.com, they have many different domain names that are product oriented. For instance, cloudcomputing.com is one they own. When people go to cloud computing, it brings them back to the main website, Dell.com. And this is a way for many businesses to capture new leads and prospects online. Every business should have many different domain names that are local keyword based to attract new customers in their area. And an example of that would be a florist in Orlando would do well to own something like rosesorlando.com or weddingfloristorlando.com or orlandoflorist.com, etc. There are hundreds of product-specific domain names that may be used effectively, product-oriented and service-oriented. Now, Google automatically recognizes that it's a locally based domain name and is much more likely to present that domain name to a potential customer who is searching from that local area. Now, that's powerful. The business would then have content on those domain names that would lead the visitor back to their main website. And this is how businesses really overtake their competition online. And the great thing is you always have an asset that can be converted back to cash if you have to. And the returns are almost unbeatable. You know, where else can you buy a $3 or $4 product and sell it for $500 or $1,000? And here's an interesting tidbit. If you want to know what the current state of domain sales are these days, you know, people are always saying, well, domains, you know, we missed the gold rush for domain names. Well, that's a bunch of malarkey. Domain names are hotter than ever because there are so many more opportunities and businesses looking for domain names. And let me show you this chart that shows you domain name sales as compared to the NASDAQ. So you see it's right up there and over. The sales are just fantastic for domain names, and it keeps climbing. And you can find this chart at www.idnx.com, and I'll put that in the resources area of the course. Now, with Local Domain Empire, you can forget about search engines as SEO, unless you really want to do that. You can forget about traffic. You can forget about backlinking. You don't need any of that stuff. You just need a good domain name and a good website and a good list of prospects. Simply register a local domain name, install the website, and rinse and repeat as often as you'd like. Simple, effective, powerful. So here's what we'll cover in this course. Module 1 is where you are right now. In Module 2, I'll cover powerful methods of finding highly marketable local domain names quickly and easily. I share with you some of the best techniques and resources for quickly and efficiently finding an almost endless supply of great domain names. In Module 3, we'll talk about registering your domain names, where to register, how to register for dirt cheap, how to get valuations, and the life cycle of a domain name. In Module 4, we'll get into our powerful niche websites, understanding the concept, the usage, the installation, customizations, and marketing techniques. Module 5, we're going to cover finding your perfect buyers. In fact, I give you 10 different ways to find an abundance of buyers for your domain names along with email swipes. In Module 6, we'll tackle making the sale. Nothing happens until a sale takes place. Learn about passive sales, proactive sales, where to sell and where to list, how to collect payments risk-free, and the difference between selling and renting. Module 7 will cover how to use the social media covers that come with the LDE packages, and our graphic expert, Sean Hansen, teaches you how to work with and edit the Facebook and Twitter graphics that you received with the package. Module 8 is about social media video domination. Like I said, you don't have to be concerned about search engines. The websites pretty much rank themselves automatically over time. But if you want to do it quickly, you can use different techniques. This is a 5-part course that teaches you how to use the power of YouTube and Google Plus to catapult your LDE sites whenever you want to do that. And this part of the course is done by Zane Miller, who is an expert at this stuff. Lastly, in Module 9, the conclusion and the course resources. Final words on making it happen, along with a list of resource links discussed in the course. So let's get busy, guys. I want to hear your success story. In this video, I want to give you a better understanding of why local domain names are important and how businesses will use them. So why local domain names? Well, one of the biggest reasons people use search engines is to get information about local business. In fact, the majority of searches are done for that reason. And also, the most cost-efficient way for a business to get a huge advantage over their competitor is by capturing consumer searches and funneling them back to their main website. So what that means is, when somebody searches for a certain term, a product or a service that they're looking for locally, a local business that provides that product or service wants to get into the path of that consumer. They want to get that consumer to pay attention to them instead of their competitor. And that's exactly what a local domain name will do for them. The power of local search. By owning many web presences, a local business can capture the lion's share of new customers before their competitor does. It's extremely easy to get a top spot in the search engines for a local-based domain name or website. When you think about it, there are only a certain number of competitors in each town or city, and therefore the keywords that apply to those businesses are very specific, and there is a much smaller universe of people looking for those keywords because it's for that particular town or city. Strategy and gravity. Those are the two important reasons why a business wants to tap into the local search market. Building and owning lots of descriptive and geographic domains as part of an online strategy can help any business to run circles around their competition. Domain names can capture targeted leads and drive traffic to a company's main website and help to track ad spend more smartly. For instance, businesses advertising in the newspaper or radio or TV, they can track their ad spend by using various domain names particular to those campaigns. So why would they need more than one? Well, for that reason, for advertising, as well as when a company owns one main website, that's a great place to start. Let's take one example. Mary's Flower Boutique. Mary owns her own flower shop and she's trying to attract more customers. Well, what happens when someone searches for something like wedding flowers in Orlando? She would be smart to own the domain name weddingflowersorlando.com and building content on that website that specifically talks about wedding flowers in Orlando will help to attract customers to that website through the search engines, and that website can point back to marysflowerboutique.com. Or Orlando Flower Boutique is another domain name they could use. Orlando Roses, for people searching for roses online. Birthday Flowers Orlando, people looking for birthday flowers. Orlando Gifts, Mary may carry a line of gifts or use flowers as gifts. Gift Baskets Orlando, if Mary sells gift baskets, well then that would be a great domain name for her to own also, and capture all these various terms and customers searching for those terms, and they all point back to Mary's Flower Boutique. They all drive customers back to her main website where she can acquire a new customer and make sales. By using a strategy like this, local businesses can run circles around their competition and really take the market. So let's look at a case study. A florist in Texas purchased around 20 affordable descriptive domain names such as fortworthflowers.com, flowernut.com, yourflowerplace.com, and flowersite.com. As a result, the company's traffic increased by 47%, and they were able to increase sales by $1.5 million while closing 5 brick-and-mortar locations. So there's a giant cost savings there too. They use the domains in things like printed ads, radio, and TV ads so they can see what is actually working. So they can save a lot on their budget for advertising by using local domain names. Another case study. A surgical supply company owns about 15 other websites for directing traffic, including millenniumsurgical.com, surgicalinstruments.net, surgicalnet.com, and other related sites. They commented, "We were very aware that a big factor in securing new and repeat business is ensuring that our customers can find our website quickly and easily. For that reason, domain names have become a significant portion of our marketing investment, providing benefits that are critical to the success of our overall marketing efforts and return on investment." So that says it in a nutshell. It's all about capturing leads from the internet. And one last case study. Dell Incorporated owns thousands of domain names. One of them is cloudcomputing.com. If a prospect lands on that site, it redirects them back to Dell's main website, which is dell.com. And they own thousands of domains that do this. They just redirect all the different search terms back to their main website. So I hope that gives you a better understanding of what we're doing here. We're providing domain names for the local businesses to capture new leads for their business and redirecting that traffic back to their main website. That'll save them money and make them money with new clients. Okay, so let's get into this. How to find killer local domains anytime you want. And I do mean anytime you want. Any day, any hour, any minute of the day, you will find killer domain names that we can use for this system that will be profitable and highly marketable. So we're not shooting for exact match domains specifically, but we're shooting for highly relevant local domains that are appealing to local businesses. By that I mean domain names that sort of describe what they are to the consumer. And let me show you a few examples here. Let's take Atlanta and a florist in Atlanta this time. Well, floristatlanta.com would be a perfect domain name for a florist in Atlanta. There are, believe it or not, quite a few of these domains around to register, and people drop them every year, and you can pick them up and start them over again. They are harder to find than some of the other variations, of course, but they're out there. So don't be afraid of looking for those. Now, the second one is floristinatlanta.com, which is okay. That's very serviceable for the types of things we're doing. Floristatlantageorgia.com with a GA for the state. I don't like those domains. It's a little harder to remember, and it's just a little more cumbersome. I'll use them if there's nothing else available, but that's very rare. Then you have something that's even longer, floristinatlantageorgia.com. I wouldn't register that at all. There are so many other options to be able to choose from that you don't need to do that. Then you have atlantaflorist.com, which is the opposite or reverse of the first one in the list. Another great domain name. AtlantaGeorgiaFlorist.com is also very serviceable, but I don't like the state in the domain name. The local business is where it's at, and most businesses don't serve the whole state. And when a consumer is searching for a florist in Atlanta and they live in Atlanta, they're usually not putting in the state in the domain name anyway. 3 things you want to keep in mind: no hyphens, no numbers, and always use .coms. And I'll explain that. Hyphens are very hard for a local business to use in a domain name because they publish the domain in newspapers, on the radio, on TV, and it's hard to vocalize a domain name with a dash in it. It's very confusing. And when a consumer reads the ad in a newspaper or magazine that says whatever, dash, whatever.com, they don't remember to put that dash in when they go to the website, when they type it in. Or they don't remember where the dash goes in the domain name. So hyphens are not a good idea, and they're unattractive to local businesses anyway. You don't want numbers in the domain name because consumers will often not remember whether to type in the digit itself or to type in the spelling of the word, like O-N-E for one. So numbers are not a good idea because it makes it harder for the consumer to find the domain name. Always use a .com because .com is what businesses want, first of all. .com sells 10 times faster than other variations of domain names, and it sells for many times more money than other domain names. So why bother with other types of domains? Sure, you can find better keywords sometimes, but that's meaningless for the system that we're using. Always go with the .com because that'll produce the best results for you. 3 of my favorite methods of finding local domain names. Method number 1 is expired domain lists, and I will explain that in a moment. Method number 2 is the GoDaddy Geo tool. I don't use GoDaddy for a lot of things, but this tool is really fascinating, and it works extremely well. Method number 3 is the keyword mixer and spinner, and I'll give you a demonstration of that as well. Okay, so here we are at namejet.com, which is a website that specializes in the domain aftermarket. They handle back orders and auction services and so forth, but they also provide free lists of expiring domain names. And this is a great way to find domains that you can register that are becoming available. To do that, click on the Downloads link, and here under Pending Delete, you have several files to choose from. There's a file released every single day. Let's click on the most recent one, and we'll save that file. So now that we've saved the file, let's find it on our desktop, and there it is. And it's named by the date.txt. Let's open that up and take a look at it. Now, this list is released every single day, a completely new list every single day, and each list contains, let's take a look here, this one contains 89,352 domains in this list, and that's how many are released every single day. It's an excellent source of finding great domain names that people are dropping, and it would take you hours and hours to look through this list because 89,000, 90,000 domain names. So what you want to do is simply do a search on certain towns and cities that you want to market to, and see what's available in this list under that that contains that city's name. So I'm choosing Boston. This is my little search box for my text editor. You can do this in Notepad as well. There's a little search function in Notepad. So we put Boston in there, and let's see what's available in this list that contains the word Boston. So here's one, Boston, Mass. Wedding flowers. A little bit awkward, so I'm not going to choose that one. BostonStereos.com. BostonTravelAgencies.com. These are very useful domain names for businesses in those niches. Boston Travels. Cheap Car Insurance Boston. Now, I'm sure people search for that quite often. So someone in Boston that's selling cheap car insurance could use a domain like this. I don't particularly like the word cheap in front of a domain name or in the domain name because that just doesn't appeal to a business so much, but you get the idea. Downtown Boston Restaurants. That would be a very good domain name to have a website in the restaurant niche. Tattoo Laser Boston. There's a very useful domain name for a tattoo parlor. So that was just one town in a list of one day's worth of expired domain names. You do this on a daily basis and check different towns, and you're going to find a lot of gems in this list. Let's try another city. We'll try Dallas. And here we have a bunch of domains with Dallas, Fort Worth, DUI attorney, Dallas, Fort Worth, DUI lawyer, and lawyers. So somebody is dropping these because they probably registered them last year and never did anything with them or never really knew how to sell them. So if we want to try another one, let's try Atlanta. Elevators Atlanta. So somebody in the elevator business, that would be a perfect domain for them. Magician Atlanta. That would be a great domain name for a magician that's promoting in Atlanta. Metro Atlanta Self-Storage. There's another good domain name. Personal Injury Lawyers Atlanta, Georgia. A long one. I wouldn't do that one. Ranch Homes in Atlanta. That would be a good real estate domain name. Affordable Acupuncture Atlanta. There you go. There's another good one. And yes, it is a long domain name, but it exactly describes what a person might be searching for. So they see this domain name appear in their results when they search. They're very likely to click on it and check out what is offered on that website. Atlanta Attorney Bankruptcy. That's kind of backwards. It's not worded correctly, but it uses the keywords. So there you have it. You can look through these lists every single day and just run a few keyword searches through them, and you'll find some really good gems. I find them every single day and register them from this list every day. That's method number 1 of finding domain names. So here we are at one of my favorite local domain finding tools. And of all places, it's in GoDaddy. And not many people know about this. It's interesting. To get there, just go to geo.godaddy.com. And I'll have that address in the resources section as well. So here's how it works. In this box, enter your location name. So sticking with the theme, let's try Atlanta. And now I want to click on this advanced box. And we have the city here. And we want keywords contains. Put in the business niche you want to search for. So let's look for landscaping. And we want to unselect all of these options and just choose the .com and click Go. Now in this box you'll see it's searching. It's looking for possible domain names for the Atlanta area using the keyword landscaping. And there we go. A list pops up. It shows you the suggested domain names that you can register, all .coms. First one is landscapingroswell.com. SmyrnaLandscaping.com, LandscapingSmyrna.com, North Atlanta Landscaping.com, Landscaping North Atlanta, and there's a bunch of them. Redon Landscaping, Landscaping Redon, East Point Landscaping. These are all fantastic domain names. Landscaping Rome, Landscaping Mableton, Lanceville Landscaping. So here's the point. It shows you the map. It shows you all the different competitors in this area for landscaping. You can register any one of these domain names or as many as you'd like, and most of these are great, fantastic for the service we're offering, for the website. They're very appealing domain names for business because it's the 2-word domain name containing their city, Landscaping Griffin, Landscaping Duluth. So how easy was that? In just a minute, we ended up with a list of extremely effective domain names for our purposes. Businesses in these areas will love that name if they're in the landscaping business, and it'll be an easy sale. This is just one area with one keyword. There are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of different combinations we can try. So the opportunity is wide open. And when people tell me they can't find domain names that are decent, just take a look at this. It's crazy good. Let's try another one for the heck of it, just to show you the power of this thing. Let's try, I have not tried these before. I'm just doing them for the sake of demonstration. So what you see is the reality of what you'll get. Let's try Boston again. Click on Advanced, Keyword Contains, and Let's try accountant. Unselect all of these choices and just choose .com, click go. Give it a moment to fill this list. It pulls up the map for us, and suddenly there we have a map with all the locations of accountants, and here are domains that are available. CambridgeAccountant.com. Cambridge is a big city. Lynn Accountant, Accountant Lynn, Quincy Accountant. These are all fantastic domain names. This is why this is one of my favorite tools ever to find local domain names. Accountant Malden, Medford Accountant. So any accountant that's looking for a web presence, you've got plenty to choose from here. Now what's interesting too is you can refine this search by zooming in or zooming out. We're going to zoom out a little further, and what that's going to do is add this whole area and add to the list. So you can get all the surrounding towns near Boston, because quite often services like accountants will offer their services in the surrounding areas. And of course, the more you zoom out, the more choices you'll have. It's just a crazy great way to find local domain names. And in this lower box, there are open auctions for domain names that are selling. Now look at this. Winston-Salem Accountant is selling for $7,150. Winston-Salem Accountants with an S on it is $1,200. Accountants Arlington, $980. Arlington Accountant, $488. These are all domain names that are being offered. So you can get a feel for what the price range is for domains in this type of category that will sell. So there you have it. There's an almost unlimited supply of local domain names using this tool. And if you don't want to register through GoDaddy, simply make note of the domains that you want and register them wherever you want to register them. Okay, now here's a nifty little tool called Keyword Mixer. It's a very simple website. Go to keywordmixer.com, and this is a very simple thing to use. What you want to do is paste in a list of your categories here, and then paste in a list of your cities here. And what you want to do is click on Remove All Spaces and add .com to the end. And all you do is click Combine and watch what happens. They give you a list of the keywords with the cities with the .com. So it creates the domains for you. Now you can take this list, copy. Now imagine how long this list would be if you had longer lists here to combine. So you copy the list that's generated and go to another tool called Domain Hole Bulk Check. And what you do is you paste that list here, and it'll check all those domains for availability. Check the .com, and then check availability. And here we go. Here it shows you the available ones at the top, so it makes it easy. Landscaper Providence, Landscaper Rochester, Landscaper Needham, Landscaper Providence, Landscaping Providence, Landscaping, and so forth. So these are the ones that are available for a quick check, and these are the ones that are not available. Simple as that. Real simple tools to use, but very effective. Now let me show you one more tool in Domain Hole called Name Spinner. And what you do is you simply add your keyword in here for the niche you want to target. Let's say accountant. And in this box you have many different choices for combining with your niche keyword. Here's one for cities. It'll list all the cities and match it up with your keyword and show you the results. Financial terms, fields of study, suffixes, nationalities, medical terms, a lot of different choices. But let's stick with cities because that's what we're doing. And add the word list to the end or the beginning or in between. So here's your word list. It'll be this list of cities. So we'll add the cities to the beginning in this case. Top level domain is .com and click spin it. And here we go. All these different towns with the accountant.com, and these are available on the top here. And down below it gets to the non-available ones. Plenty to work with. Okay, so here we are at another one of my favorite sites called superpages.com. It's a directory, and watch how easy this is to use. Don't even type anything in, just click on Advanced Search, which is under the search button, and then click on Browse and Search by Category. Now you have a page full of different business niches. And under each one of these groups, like shopping, you have this list, and there's a More tab at the bottom of each group, so it goes on and on and on. This is a gold mine for finding different niches that you can find domain names for. So let's choose one. Let's choose day spas, and look what it reveals to you. Popular cities: Atlanta day spas, Austin day spas, Baltimore day spas, Boston day spas, all the major cities conveniently put together for you. And you can copy that list and bring it over to our bulk checker. Paste them in here, click on .com, and then check availability. And here we go. Buffalo day spas, Camden day spas, Colorado Springs day spas, Everett day spas. All these are available on the top, and of course these are not available on the bottom. So that's another fantastic way to find an almost endless supply of local domain names. We just did this one example with day spas, but if you go back to advanced search, browse and search by, you have so many different categories to experiment with. Siding contractors, let's hit that one. Here we go. Boston siding contractors, Quincy siding contractors, San Antonio siding contractors, Fort Worth siding contractors. So the list goes on and on. And again, you would simply copy this list and bring it to your bulk checker. Paste it in there, click .com, and click check availability. And voila, you have all of these domains that are ripe for the selling, and so many of them are available. St. Petersburg siding contractors, Sacramento siding contractors. It goes on and on. It's an almost endless supply of local domains. So if you're stuck looking for a domain name to sell, this is the way to do it. Local domains are simple to find, and they're very appealing to businesses. And of course, most of these are perfect for installing our niche websites on and then selling it as a package. Now see, it only took us a few minutes to generate thousands of potential domain names, and we found dozens upon dozens of great domain names that would be worth registering. Now, depending on your budget, you never want to spend more than what you can afford to lose, even though the risk is so small because we're spending only a few bucks per domain and putting up a beautiful website, and you can easily turn that back into cash, even if it means just getting your money back, which is, a very rare occurrence. You won't have to do that. When you register, let's say 10 domains and only sell one of them, that one sale will easily pay for all the other domains that failed, if you have domains that failed. So of the dozens that we found, pick the few that are the most appealing to you and to what you would think a local business would want, and register those few. You can always go back tomorrow and get more. Now, when you're buying a domain name, always use the singular or plural of what's the first match that pops up as a suggestion when conducting a search in Google. You want to be ranking for the one that Google pushes. In other words, when you go to Google and type in a keyword, a suggestion box will pop up. Look at the first result on that list. If it's plural, stick with plural. If it's singular, stick with singular. That's, of course, if that option is available. It doesn't make a huge difference, but every little bit you can do to get Google on your side is a good thing. And when Google suggests something as a first keyword, that means they think it's the most relevant. So give yourself the best opportunity to rank well in Google automatically. Now, after putting together a list of potential domains, search Google for the exact match of the keywords in quotation marks to verify that there are many sponsored ads. You want to see if your keywords are being paid for in businesses advertising in Google. That not only confirms that they're good keywords, but it confirms that there are businesses that are interested in those keywords. And those are prime prospects, by the way, so make note of who they are. Now, understand that search volume makes no difference for local domaining, but it's a good idea to check the Google keyword tool to see if one keyword is better than others. So what I mean by that is search volume, quite often when you look up a local domain in the Google keyword tool, it'll show a volume of 0 or under 10, but in reality, those keywords and that domain, especially when you have a website installed on it, will begin generating searches and visits. Google does not do a good job of keeping track of low volume search counts. So even though it says 0 or under 10, it could be getting dozens. It could be getting 100 or more visitors per month for those keywords. So don't let that throw you off. Search volume does not matter. I don't even look up search volumes anymore. I just go with what the best looking domain is and what my best prospects are. And I'll show you how to find prospects in a later video. Now, search volume makes a huge difference to an internet marketer who's selling a lot of ebooks from their website, and they rely on thousands of visits to generate as many sales as possible. But a local business only needs 1 or 2 excellent prospects each month to visit their site and become a customer, because a lot of local businesses have high-ticket items, and just from 1 new customer in a month, they can generate an extra few $1,000s or a few $1,000s a year or a month, whatever the situation is, what types of products they're selling. So they don't need a lot of volume. They just need a few good prospects each month. And by providing them with the type of site that we are, that's likely to happen. Okay, so let's talk about registering your domain names. There are 2 different types of registrars. There's a consumer-oriented registrar and there are professional-oriented registrars. And by that I mean some registrars are tapping into the consumer market and they advertise everywhere, like GoDaddy. Everybody knows who they are. The general population pretty much knows who they are. So they cater to people who just register domain names for whatever projects they have. But then there are professional grade registrars like Moniker. Monitor.com is geared to serving the professional domainer or the experienced domainer or people that want more protection for their domain names. So both of them have their purposes. Price-wise, they all run about the same, around $10, $12, $14. Now, a professional grade registrar like Moniker, I'm much more secure in keeping my important domains there. On the other hand, registrars like GoDaddy or Namecheap, they're more common to the population and their target market is the general population. So what they do is they offer many coupon codes throughout the year, and I mean constantly. You can find coupon codes anytime you want for both of those services. GoDaddy is the most popular, and they have coupon codes all the time. You have Namecheap, another very popular registrar, not quite as common as GoDaddy to the population. And then you have Moniker, which is known by many of the professionals in the business. Which one do you want to choose? It really isn't going to make a difference where you register your domain name. Unless it's a very important domain name to you, then I would definitely choose Moniker because they are just geared towards protecting your domain names. Whereas GoDaddy and Namecheap, if they receive complaints of any kind, they can put a hold on your domain name and even take it away from you. Any registrar can, but Moniker understands the business of domaining. GoDaddy understands consumers and consumer complaints, and so does Namecheap. They're both great. They're all 3 of them great services for their purposes. But that's what the difference is. Now, how to register your domains dirt cheap? There are always 99-cent, $1.99, $2.49, $3, $4 coupon codes and other deals from GoDaddy and from Namecheap. All you have to do is search for them. And I'll show you how to do that, even without searching for them. 3 methods that are common to do this is to search Google for GoDaddy coupon. I'll give you a demonstration of that in just a moment. You can also go to namepros.com, which is a domainers forum, and members there are always posting the latest coupon codes that they find, so you know they're very current. And there's a third option, which I really love, and it's called Honey. There's a website called Join Honey, and what that does is it gives you a button that goes into your GoDaddy account and automatically finds the coupon codes that are available for your purchase. And I'll demonstrate that too. So here we are at GoDaddy. Let's talk about them for just a moment. Like I say, GoDaddy is not the best choice if you have a domain that's important to your business. I'd rather go with a service like Moniker, who understands that the domain is extremely important to you. GoDaddy is more on the consumer side. If they receive complaints, they take action and they ask questions later. So GoDaddy is great for our purposes in local domain empire, simply because we can purchase domains really cheap, and if we happen to lose one for some reason, it's not going to make a big difference to our bottom line. So it's a good balance for our purposes in this case. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend them for a general registrar. And then we have Namecheap. Namecheap is a really great service. Again, it's not the best choice for the best protection for your domain names, but they have some great coupon offers also, and you can get some really good deals through them. They're a fantastic service. Then we have Moniker, which is my preferred registrar of choice for important domain names. But let's get back to GoDaddy, because we are going to be using GoDaddy quite a bit for the cheap domain names. And by cheap, I don't mean something substandard for a domain name. I'm talking about price-wise. Wherever you register the domain name, it's going to serve your purpose, but we can get really good deals at GoDaddy. So let's first go to a site called Join Honey. It's joinhoney.com, and what this does is they give you an extension for the Firefox browser. And what it does is it will put a button on your purchase page in your shopping cart for GoDaddy and many other retailers, by the way, but it works with GoDaddy, so this is why we use it. So all you do is install this for Firefox. It's a real simple and quick installation. Once you have it, then it's there forever, and I'll show you what it looks like. Let's go back to GoDaddy. Let's do a domain search. Type in just a bunch of random characters just to make this work. Click on Go. Of course, you type in your domain that you want to search for. And of course, that's available because it's just a bunch of odd characters. And click on Continue to Checkout. Domain added. And of course, what they do is try to sell you 5 years worth of registration. Don't do that because we're going to most likely sell the site very quickly. So choose 1 year. And right now they have a special going on. You're saving $2 automatically. So the total is $13.17 with the ICANN fees. Normally I think it's 14 and change with their normal prices. But now at the bottom here you'll see a button that has a little H logo for the Honey extension that we downloaded. It automatically places it in GoDaddy, and what you do is just click on Find Savings, and it's going to find the best coupon codes for this situation. It's checking 1 through 25 different coupon combinations, and once it finds the right one or the best one, it'll apply that to our order. Okay, so I had paused the video while it was searching for codes, and it went through the 25 different codes that it had a record of, and here's what it did. It found us the best deal for this situation. The new price, it was $13.17. The new price is $1.17. So we saved $12 on the domain registration. How about that? Now, here it is right here in the cart. It automatically found the price for us. It was a 99-cent registration, and with the ICANN fees, it comes out to $1.17. Imagine, for $1, you buy a .com domain name that's perfect for installing one of our websites on, and it's such a small risk that you can register many of these domains. Of course, there's a limit to how many you can register at this price, but you'll get different coupon codes for different situations, and some of them will be a few bucks more, but quite often it'll be in the $1, $2, $3 range. And that's all there is to it. All you do is proceed to checkout and purchase the domain name, register it, and you're done. I don't know about you, but that's very exciting to me because spending 12 or 14 bucks a pop on domain names can really add up. But at a few bucks each, you're really saving a ton of money. So now let's go to namepros.com. And this is the forum for domainers. There's a lot of activity. It's a great forum to join if you want to learn about domaining. But just do a quick search for GoDaddy coupons. And I did that already, and I'm in the forum that lists them. And members just continuously post new coupon codes practically every day, so you can keep up with the most recent coupon codes that are available. So that's another way to find the coupon codes. And as you can see, there are hundreds of pages worth of codes because we're in the early pages here, but if we click on last, that'll bring you to the most current ones. Now last but not least, you can do a simple Google search for the coupon codes. Just type in GoDaddy coupon, and right away you get listings for different coupons. So finding the coupons is really easy, and all you have to do is use either one of these methods to find them, and you'll save yourself a ton of money. So there you have it. You have 3 different methods of finding the coupon codes, and this is always available, so there's no reason you shouldn't use them all the time. Now, when you do eventually register domain names, you want to make sure that you use the real registration information. Always use the correct information in your Whois records. The Whois record is the database that stores the information of your registration. So if someone happens to file a complaint and you can't verify the information you've entered, it can become a very messy situation, and you will very well may lose the domain name because of it. So always use your correct contact information. Now, I also want to point out that it is not advisable to use the privacy settings for domain registration. Many registrars offer this service to hide your information from the public, but that really is counterproductive for our purposes, because when someone is interested in buying our domain name, we want them to see that we're open and not hiding anything. So when they check the Whois information on the domain name, they will see that your name is there, your address, your phone number, and email address, and so forth. Now, of course, you can use a disposable phone number, you can use a disposable email address and whatever, as long as they are current and can be used. You can use a P.O. box in your address. The important thing is that it's valid information. One more thing, when you do register domain names for selling, it's a really good idea to put in where you would normally put the business name, put in a message that tells people that this domain is for sale. That way when they're browsing the internet and they look for a domain name and they're saying they want to see who owns it and whether or not it's for sale, it'll say right there, this domain is for sale. And I like to put the characters on the ends of the sentence so it really pops out. And it's strange, but different registrars don't allow these characters, but they allow certain other characters. So just do something to make it stand out and make people notice that the domain name is for sale. So let's go to a Whois database to see an example of this. One of my favorites is whois.sc, and let's put in one of my domains, birminghamlandscapers.com, and do a search. Now, as you can see, right at the top, it's telling people buy birminghamlandscapers.com. And I have the list price at $3,000, but if you scroll down, you can see my registration information, and I have that message right there, this domain is for sale. So there's no doubt that I'm interested in selling this domain name. And this price is here just to confirm in the prospect's mind that, okay, yeah, it really is listed for that much money. Now, to be honest, I normally list them for about $1,200 or $1,500 and then let them negotiate down to $1,000 or so. So that about covers it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. So let's talk about determining the value of your domain name. Now, first of all, you might be surprised to hear that it makes absolutely no difference. For Local Domain Empire, we're providing a valuable web property regardless of the domain name's actual value. So one of the most frequently asked questions I get is, what's my domain worth? And that can be a difficult thing for people to understand and wrap their heads around because there is so much variance in domain names. And I'm going to go over some ways for you to determine what the value of a domain name is, but keep in mind that it really doesn't apply for Local Domain Empire because a local domain stands on its own. It's based on a specific term that businesses want to use. It's based on a specific keyword that will attract customers to their main website. On the other hand, if you use some of the tools that I show you, you may be able to establish a number that may be useful in showing the potential buyer what the statistics show. So let's talk about this a bit. It's a pretty common saying that a domain name is worth only what somebody is willing to pay for it. And while that may be true, it's more accurate to say that your domain name is worth exactly what you paid for it. Think about it. If the domain was freely available for you and for the rest of the world to register, why would it have any value beyond the registration fee? And the real answer to that is you create the value and you locate the specific customers that have a need for the domain name and property that you're offering. Now, when you browse the various listings for domain sales and you see what the domains are listed for, those prices are absolutely meaningless. Those are mostly people that just put a high price on domains in hopes to sell it for big money. In most cases, domains will never sell for the prices they are listed and being offered for. What's more important is what they have actually sold for. So let's take a look at some ways to check what the market value is for a domain name. So here are two common ways of doing this. There are valuation services and there are real-world sales figures. A valuation service, whether it's human-based or web-based, automation-based, is almost always highly inaccurate because nobody can determine what a potential buyer is willing to pay. And in my experience over the past 10 years, almost all the domains I've ever sold for hundreds and thousands of dollars were valued at just registration fee. Or, $50 or maybe $100 in some cases. But I've sold them for $500, $1,000, several $1,000s, even though I only paid $7 or $8 to register them. So keep in mind that valuation services are not accurate, but they may offer some insight as to what domain is better than another. Now, the real world sales figures, that's a different story. You can research to see what domains have sold for in the past and compare them to your particular domain name to see what the value might be. It's sort of like shopping for a house. You want to do comps in your local area to see what houses have sold for in your neighborhood. So when you sell your house, you know what to price it for. Or when you buy a house, you know what to expect to pay. But before we get into the real world sales, let's talk about the two best valuation tools there are right now. I believe they're Estimate.com and Valuate.com. They're very solid valuation services, even though you can't base everything on the numbers that they give you. It gives you an idea and a feel for the market. But again, many of them will be valued very low, even though you can sell them for much, much higher. So let's take a look at both of these. So here we are at estabot.com, and of course it's just estabot.com is where you go. And all you need to do is type in a domain in this slot. So we'll try birminghamlandscapers.com. Okay, and just click appraise. So you see they're estimating this at a value of $430, but I'll tell you right now we can get much, much more for it. It's all about finding the right customer that really wants the domain name. But even if you did sell it at $430, remember you only paid $3 or $4 to register the domain name, maybe even 99 cents. So making this kind of a markup on that purchase is a fantastic return. And if you scroll down, you'll see some comparatives that they've done. Locallandscapers.com sold for $1,000. Birmingham Bank sold for $1,095. Birmingham Business sold for $1,200. Birmingham News and Birmingham Golfing sold for $430. Then they give you some analytics here, average search results and so forth. So don't even pay attention to this. I'm just showing you what it does. But basically this is how you get an automated appraisal of your domain name, and take that with a grain of salt. Now let's go to valuate.com. And it's very much the same process. Simply type in your domain. I'm typing in birminghamlandscapers.com again, and then click Valuate. And here we have the same appraisal amount, $430. I believe this service is run by the same people as Estabot, so that's why you're getting the same number. It's just a different service, and you get some other data here. So I'm not going to explore the site any more than this. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of how these work, and it's very simple. Okay, so now let's take a look at the actual sales data that domains have sold for in the past. This is the best way to determine the value of your domain name, is by comparing it based on the same criteria as other domains that have sold. 4 different websites that will help you do this are namebio.com, soldnames.com, dnsaleprice.com, and dnjournal.com. Let's take a look at each one of these. So here we are at namebio.com. That's namebio.com. And this is a service where you can look up the sale price of a particular domain name, or look up based on a keyword. So I'm just going to use a keyword, and I'm going to go with the advanced search here, and I'll show you why. I'm going to type in Boston, and I'm going to choose .com. Placement anywhere, that's where the word is placed in the name. And I want to eliminate the hyphens, the numbers, and the I, D, and S's. And just click search. And what you get is a list of domains that have actually sold and what they sold for. So you have Boston Lobster for $720, Boston Loan for $525. That's a really cheap price for that name. Fit Boston for $1,477, Boston Apartment Rental. So you get the idea. It gives you an idea of what the local domains are selling for. So now let's go to soldnames.com. And that brings you to domaining.com actually. But here's a list of domains that have sold with the prices. Here, look at this. These are in the millions of dollars, so they're the top domain names that have sold. And you can just browse through this site to see what prices are being received for various domain names. DN Sale Price is an interesting site because you type in your keyword here, choose the TLD, and we'll choose .com again, of course. And how many words? Let's say the domain has 2 words. Then we can click on Go. And once again, we have a nice list of actual domain sales. Here are the figures. 2,988 for BostonAccess.com, BostonMatchmakers.com, 2,100, and that's one I actually sold. That's my sale. Boston Oncology for 2,800, Boston Caterers, and so forth. So that's just another way of looking up prices. And then we have dnjournal.com. And here they report the sales consistently for various services, and they list them all. So it gives you an idea, again, of what domains are selling for. So there you have it. Those are ways you can look up domain values and figure out what your domain is worth. But like I keep telling you, you really don't have to worry about what the value is of your domain name, because we're providing a keyword domain that is perfect for local businesses, and we're giving them a valuable web property at the same time. But these facts and figures are good to know just to give yourself an idea of what we're doing. Okay, this will be a pretty short video, but it's an important thing for anybody that sells domains to know. It's the life cycle of a domain name. All domain names start as being available, of course, and when you register it, you can register it for a period of 1 to 10 years. Now at the end of the term, whether it's 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years, or whatever it is, if you fail to renew it after that period, it gets denoted as expired. Now at this point, it doesn't mean that it's available to anyone else. It's not. It'll be another 80 days before it's available to the public. What this means is that the domain name is no longer able to be used by you or whoever the owner is. Once it reaches that point, it goes into an auto-renew grace period, which is between 0 and 45 days. That's a period where you can renew it and get the domain back at the regular registration cost. If you let it go beyond that point, it goes into redemption grace period, which is 30 days. And at this point, it's most likely you have to pay an additional $100 or a couple $100 to get it back because it has to be retrieved from the main database. Now, if it goes beyond that point, it goes into the last period, which is a 5-day period called pending delete. So when you look up the whois data on a domain name and it says pending delete on it, you know that it's 5 days away or within 5 days of being available to the public once again. Because once it gets beyond this point, it's released and available to the public. So from the time it expires in your account to the time it becomes available, it's about 80 days, depending on the registrar, give or take a few days. So keep that in mind as you're buying and selling domain names. And most registrars are really good about notifying you about the status of your domain name so you don't lose it. They'll send you emails to keep reminding you. The local domain empire niche websites are especially made to appeal to a broad range of local businesses. The websites have everything that's important to capture the attention of their prospects or their potential customers. First of all, the overall look is beautiful. It's got a video to capture their attention right away with a live actress.
You have many options for choosing a landscaping company
And it's got an informational guide that people can download when they visit the site. And of course, there are very informative articles on the site. Each one of these images goes to an article, and it's got a space to put the business's information. The website comes with images that you can use for this spot, but of course they can be replaced by the buyer's own image. And there's a live link to their main website here. Down below is another image of the guide that they can download. And one thing I want to point out is all the images on the site are public domain. Not the video, but all the images used here and on the articles are public domain, so they can be freely distributed. As long as you keep the image attribution, which is here. It's required by the source of the images to include a link on the website to show what the source of the images are. We also have a terms of service page already done for you, and we have a privacy policy page which is already there for you, and there's a blog page, and that helps to capture the search engine attention. It lists the articles and they can click to read more. And the about page contains that same image with the business information. Contact page also contains that information, but it has a form that people can use to send an email to the owner of the site. Then we have the social media buttons here, and they're all optional. You can choose and pick whichever ones you want to display. And they would go directly to the page on these various social media sites that the business owns. So all in all, it's a beautiful website that any local business would be proud to own. The best part of it is, for you, the person selling the domain, these sites are incredibly fast to install because you're simply uploading some HTML files. That's all. And once it's installed, you can go into the dashboard and change whatever settings you'd like. The title, the city and the state, the business information, the social media buttons, the About Us page, the contact page, the logo. It's all configurable, and the name of the website here, it can all be changed through the dashboard. This video will show you how to install your niche websites. The first thing you want to do is get a hold of FileZilla. To get that, go to filezilla-project.org. Now, all you do is click on Download FileZilla Client, and once you do that, you simply install it on your computer, and you'll have this. So when you got your hosting account, they gave you the information you need to use FTP. And in my case, it's the domain name and the username, the password, and the port number is almost always 21. Then you just do the quick connect, and what you see in this window are the files that are on your server under your domain name. You'll want to enter this folder called public_HTML. That's where all the files go. In some cases, web hosts call that folder by a different name, so you want to check with your information that you received from your host. But in many cases, it's public_HTML. Let's just minimize this for a minute. And here we have the package for the landscaping website. So we have to unzip that. And the unzipping process is covered in another video. So you end up with a folder containing all the files. Now we won't need the zip file anymore, so let's push that aside. So basically you have FileZilla for the FTP service, and you have your niche website folder. Open the folder, and open that folder, and you'll see a folder called Website. Open that, and all the files you see here will be uploaded to your server through the FTP. Before we upload them though, we want to do one thing. Go into your custom folder and open the index.php in your notepad. And don't let all this scare you. All you have to do is look for where it says change this password, select that, and don't touch the quotes on each side of it, just the words, and put your own password in there. So for the sake of this example, I'm just going to use 12345. Then save it. Close that, and now we can upload all these files that are inside the website folder. So let me slide this out of the way. We'll get our FTP program back. There it is. And all we have to do is grab all of these files and folders and just drag them over. Once you've uploaded all the files, which takes approximately 90 seconds, sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes less, depending on your own connection and web speed, the site is completely installed. But now we want to go into the dashboard of the website to choose the settings that we like. So here we are at the website we just uploaded. And now that the website is installed, we can use the dashboard to customize. We'll cover the dashboard in the next video. So here we are at the website we just uploaded. Now to get to the dashboard where you change the settings, simply type in /custom at the end of the URL. That brings you to the login form. Put your username in there and your password, and we just set it at 12345 for the example. Log in, and there's your dashboard. It's very straightforward. Just follow the instructions for each field. Type in the information for this website. If you want the social media buttons to show, choose the ones that you'd like here. Here's the Google one, so just click yes. Then put in the URL to the Google page. Same for Facebook. You can click on yes if you want it and put in the URL here. We also have a Twitter and a YouTube one. The next section is to choose an avatar to use with the business information. You can use one of these that we provided, or you can upload your own. And you can change any of these by following these instructions. We have a very simple upload form here that you can choose to upload your own images. But for now, let's just choose this guy on the end, and then you choose your color theme for the website. I like the blue, I'll stick with that. And choose a logo. And you can also upload your own logos and replace any of these just by using the upload form. Since it's a landscaping site, I'll choose this image. Then just click on Customize Website. And you'll get this message saying your website is ready. View your website. Or you can do some further modifications by clicking on these listings. You can add a featured website section to the bottom of the home page, or edit the main page titles, search engine meta description, and keywords. And you can also go back to the dashboard by clicking here. Let's check out the edit main page titles and so forth. So the home page main headline is what you see here, and it automatically adds Birmingham, Alabama in this case, because that's the keywords that we placed in the previous page. And you notice there is a bracket, BR with a bracket. That's to break the line, so it puts this on the first line and the rest of it on the second line. And then the blog main page headline, you can also change that as you like. And the search engine title, this is what appears as the title of the page in the search engines. Search engine meta description is what it will show in the listing in search engines. Meta keywords, just enter keywords that relate to this website. And click Finished. Now this Add a Featured Websites section to the bottom of the home page, I'm going to do a separate video for that. So at this point, let's go and check the View Your Website link. And your website is complete. Here's the landscaper we chose, and the information we put in, and here's the title that was edited, the logo we chose, and so forth. And of course, if you click onto the blog page, you'll see exactly what you would have typed in for a headline in that other section. The About page will show the business information. Contact page, it'll show the business information again, as well as a contact form. And because we only selected the Google page and the Facebook page, those are the only two showing. Otherwise, all four of them will show here, depending on what you choose. So that's all there is to installation. The whole process takes very little time. And you can install as many of these as you'd like on your own domain name and start building your local domain empire. There's nothing a business likes better than to outdo their competitor. And that's why I created a module for the website called Featured Websites. And this is how it works. Currently, when you install a website, what you see at the bottom of the page is a copy of the guide with the download button and the footer. But there is a module in the settings that allows you to add some featured websites at the bottom of this page, and I'll show you what that looks like. Let's go to the custom dashboard, and let's scroll down until we get to the customize website button. Click that, and add a featured websites section to the bottom of the home page is where we want to go. Now, here's what will happen. When we enter information in these boxes, it'll place a whole new section below the guide on the main web page. What this allows you to do is enter 4 different websites that are competitors in this market. Why would we want to do that? Simple. When our prospects visit the website and they see that their competitors are listed as a featured website at the bottom of the website, they would much prefer if they were the only one shown on the website. So what that does is gives them incentive to buy the website or to rent it from you and remove this section from the website. This way their competitors don't get any of the share of business. So let's take this for a spin and you'll see what I'm talking about. Normally you would put the names of the 4 competitors in these boxes along with their URL to their website. But for this sake of this example, I'm going to just use Google and google.com, and this will be Yahoo, yahoo.com, Bing, bing.com, and we'll pick Dogpile for dogpile.com. Now, just by entering the URL in these slots, what it'll do is automatically generate a thumbnail image of their website. And all you do is put in the name of the business and their website URL. Now, to make these display on the website, you have to click yes here so that it'll display. And then go to the bottom and click done. So now when we view the website and scroll down, you'll see a whole new section called Featured in or Near Birmingham, Alabama, and it shows the thumbnails of all 4 competing websites. Not only that, but they are clickable, so somebody can click on these images to go to that website. So now when our prospects visit this website and they look around and they say, oh look, my competitors are listed on the website as well. Maybe I should buy the website so I can get rid of that. They're striving every day for the best market share online, so anything they can do to stop their competitors from gaining any extra business is to their benefit. So that's just an incentive area. It gives businesses the incentive to buy the website from you because they can be the only one on the website here and they can put their own information here. It's a very powerful motivator, so take advantage of it. This is how easy it is to install the website. All you do is grab all the files, upload them to your server through FTP, and in a matter of about 90 seconds or so, you have a completely functional website just by uploading the files, and I'll show you what that looks like. And just like that, we end up with a beautiful website that any business would be proud to own. This one is for landscaping service, but all these components can be changed. Okay, and it comes with video with a live actress.
You have many options for choosing a landscaping company in our...
And it has a guide that helps the consumer to understand what their choices are. They can instantly download, and it comes with various articles on the subject, all pre-installed. The whole website is configured and ready to go for you. It's keyword optimized for search engines. It has a blog page that lists the articles, and this is good for capturing search engine attention. And they click read more to go to the article. And there's an about page that lists the business, and this is all configurable, and a contact page, as well as the terms of service and privacy policy. And there's a special area where you change all these settings. So let's log into the admin area. And here we have the dashboard that gives you the various options. You have the website name, business name, street address, and so forth, and the website link that shows up in that little business box. You can display Google Plus button, Facebook page, YouTube page. So we'll click yes on those to display, and a Twitter, of course. And here we can choose an image to display for the business. And you can choose up to 10 different color schemes. and you can also choose a logo to represent the business. And of course, these are all placeholders that can be easily changed once the site is sold or rented to a local business, and all these things can be changed to suit their taste. Click on Customize Website and view the website, and here we go. We now have that image we selected, and here on the bottom you can see the different media buttons float, and a visitor would simply click on one of those buttons to visit their page that's set up on those services. So it's a really powerful website for any business offline, and they can use this as a secondary site to capture leads. The guide can be configured with the business's information, so it's an awesome site that can funnel prospects to their main website. And remember, this whole thing was done in just a matter of 90 seconds or so, and then go in and configure some of the settings. Now, with a system like this, you can install hundreds of these sites in a day, and they have valuable properties for this keyword. You simply upload them to a domain name, and you have a web property that is very attractive to local businesses. Now keep in mind, there's no WordPress involved, no plugins, no database, no extra stuff like that. It's a very simple site to transfer to a buyer. The whole idea is to provide an extremely valuable website to a business and for it to occupy almost none of your time. 90 seconds to upload the thing, depending on your connection speed. And once you've uploaded it to your domain name, it can begin attracting search engine attention. You can configure the site any way you want. There's a section you can go into to enter keywords and meta descriptions and so forth. And the whole idea, again, is to keep it super simple for you. You simply upload the site and you're pretty much done. You just install, and then you can focus all your attention on finding prospects that will be anxious to get a hold of a site like this. And that's what the course is all about. I teach you how to do that. So the Local Domain Empire course is broken down into 3 sections. The first one being techniques for finding local domains that are highly marketable and highly desirable by businesses. The second component is working with this website, which is designed to take as little of your time as possible. You're selling domain names after all, not really websites, but we include this website to make it more attractive to your buyers. And the third component is how to sell these domain names and websites. And the amazing thing about this is once you have this template, you can install it on as many domains as you wish. And your only cost for the domains can be as little as a few bucks, $2, $3, $4, by taking advantage of certain discount codes for domain names. And I teach you how to do that as well. And once you've installed the sites, you have a year before you have to renew the domain name. So you have a full year to let it attract search engine love and for it to catch the eye of a potential buyer. It's a very low risk and high profit system. This session is going to be all about learning how to find the perfect buyers for your domain names. And I'm going to show you 10 different ways to find end users for your domain names. An end user is simply whoever ends up using the website that you're selling. Now, make no mistake about it, these 10 steps are powerful. There's no better way to find prospects online than the 10 methods I'm about to show you. Some of them are fairly obvious, some of them not so obvious, but they all are very effective. So let's start with the most obvious one, which is Google.com. We've all used Google, and we know that business listings show up every time you search for something. Well, many of those businesses are prime prospects for domain names. So let's start by doing a basic web search. Let's try lawn care. I'm not even going to put in a town or city, just the keywords, and it's going to default to what's closest to your physical location. Now, since I'm in upstate New York, it's showing me results that are in upstate New York. So if I own the domain name OswegoLawnCare.com, many of these listings are prime candidates for selling the domain to because they're all based in this current location, which is Oswego, New York. What you want to do is look for the smaller mom and pop type places. You don't want to look for the big chain operations. And also check these search terms below to see if any of them apply to what you're searching for. Also, don't forget to check page 2, 3, and 4, and even 5 for more very viable prospects for your domain name. Don't forget, the folks on page 1 got there for a reason. The folks on page 2, 3, 4, and 5 and on, they need help to do some marketing online, whether that's through a search engine result or whether it's through a website that can bring them more traffic, regardless of where it's positioned on the search engine. You have something that will help them. Now, let me show you something up on the top where it says Search Tools. Click on that. And right now I'm in Oswego, New York, so that's where it's defaulted to. But if you want to check a different area, just type in the zip code. Let's say I want to check Boston. 02134 is a Boston zip code. I'll check that, and now it's showing me the results for Boston, Massachusetts, and the surrounding areas. So here you have prospects for that location. Now you want to avoid the sites that look like they are just informational type websites like this one. You want to look for companies that are selling their services. True Green, that's a big chain, so you don't want to deal with them because they're often very hard to communicate with. Here's one, Steve's Lawn Care. Let's see what that looks like. This is a perfect prospect for a lawn care domain name. It's a small business located in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. So if you had the domain name Bridgewater Landscapers or Bridgewater Lawn Care, this would be a very viable prospect. Quite often they'll have a contact us page. It'll give you a lot of the information about who to contact. For billing, customer service is Steve, and it's got the address and phone numbers, and often they don't have an email address here, but we'll go into how to find email addresses later on. So it's as simple as that. Just go through the listings and find the companies or the local businesses that are selling the service for your niche. You may want to dig deeper by clicking on one of these searches related to lawn care. If we clicked on lawn care tips, it may present more prospects. And each time you dig deeper, you'll find more suggestions for lawn services. Lawn fertilizer, aeration. So if you keep digging deeper, you'll find more and more prospects. Quite often, the listings in the Google Places are good candidates for selling your domains to as well. So let's get on to the number 2 method of finding prospects, and we'll do that in the next video. In this video, we'll cover the number 2 and number 3 ways of searching for prospects online. The reason I'm putting these two together is because they're very closely related, and actually they're very closely related to video number 1, which talked about Google, because in this video we're talking about Bing.com and Yahoo.com. Many people overlook these two search engines because Google is so famous, but Bing and Yahoo is a wealth of prospects. They often display many different prospects than Google does. Let's take a look. Here's Bing.com, and we'll do the same search for lawn care. And right away we have a different set of prospects, different ads, and just go through the pages as we did with Google and follow the same procedures. Bing is a great resource for prospects. It's a growing search engine. It's gaining ground on Google, and it's becoming more visited every day. So use Bing. You'll tap into a lot of prospects that others are not. The same goes with Yahoo. Use Yahoo to find even more prospects. And here we have even more prospects to dig into. Now in all three search engines, it's a good idea to check some of the links that are extra, like video. Quite often you'll find companies advertising through video, and it makes it easier to locate them in many cases. Then there's the local tab, and that just narrows it down to even more local services. So explore each search engine with all the options it gives you. And here's the interesting thing too, categories. We're looking for lawn care, but that also applies to landscaping, contractors, gardening, nurseries, other services, and so forth. So explore and keep digging up more and more prospects. So use Google, use Bing, and use Yahoo. And again, it automatically defaulted to my location, which is Oswego, New York. You can change this to look for other areas. So that's it for our search engine results. It's pretty straightforward. Just look for the smaller places, not the big chain operations. By small, I mean, anything that's a local business catering to the local community and is a single location. So let's move on to method number 4 of finding prospects. Next video. Yelp.com is another great site to find prospects to buy your domains. One of the things that makes them so great is that they have a great rating system that people can leave ratings for the businesses, and they have special offers from the businesses and so forth, so you can see who is trying to promote their business. So what you do is simply type in a term to find, for example, landscaper. We'll say landscaping, and you can try different terms related to this, like landscaper, landscaping, landscapers with an S. Try different terms that are very related to the main term, and you can choose a location. This is from a previous search I did, so I'm just going to type Boston, and let's see what comes up. Now the first thing you'll notice is it gives you some additional features to sort by or to filter by. The first thing I typically do is go to this list here, which is the category, and choose landscaping, as opposed to home services and so forth. That was listed a moment ago. And if you want to see more categories, you can click on this, and it'll show you different categories you can choose from. But right now we're only interested in the landscaping category. It's currently sorted by best match, but you can also sort it by the highest rated, which is a nice feature. Right now it's sorted by best match, so as you can see we have a list of quite a few with high ratings, some with low ratings, but you have pages. This is page 1 of 13, so just follow all the different pages to see all the different prospects. Now, if you want to sort it by highest rated to see who is the most popular in the area, well, there you go. The highest rated will be listed first. So these are usually your best prospects, the ones that are highest rated, because they're actively trying to please their customers and actively trying to promote themselves online as a result. So the highest rated listing shows 10 different people, 10 different companies, and that's page 1 of 1. Most reviewed is interesting because you can pick up some information from that. You can check the reviews to see what people are saying about the different services. And you can use the information in some of those reviews to customize your email to these companies. In other words, you want to personalize the emails you send them so they realize you're speaking directly to them and it's not just a mass mailing. For example, this first one has 7 reviews, so if you click on their link, it'll bring you to a page containing the information, phone number, their website, their address, and so forth. But here are the 7 reviews. And this person took the time to write all of this about them, and many other people wrote something as well. So this is a good way to pick up some inside information about the company. Now, coming back to the main page, here's a really great link to explore. Click on the features that are offering a deal. So the companies that are in landscaping in Boston that are offering a deal will show up. And here we go. Right down here you'll see $300 for a $450 deal. Okay, $155 for $200 deal. Why is this important? Because these are all companies that are actively trying to but trying to find new customers online by offering deals. Keep this in mind because later in the course I will show you some ideas to use with this concept. We can use this information to help sell the website to this prospect. So it's really as simple as that. If you have to narrow down the field even more, you can choose, some of these other options. But the idea is to make sure that you're picking companies that are attempting to find new customers online and compete with one another. So that's the power of Yelp. It's a really great site for prospecting.